Welcome to OnlyRoofers. My name's Elizabeth, and I'm here today with Steve Patrick. Welcome, Steve.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. We are here at RoofCon 2021. A lot of you guys may know Steve. He's pretty well known in our industry for helping many contractors. He has an enormous Facebook group where people post so much throughout the day, just sharing their content, asking questions, and helping each other. Can you tell us a little bit about your community you built online, Steve, and how that actually got started? How did you start Level the Playing Field?
I wish I could remember the person that suggested that we start a Facebook group. I wish I could attribute the person that mentioned that. I can't remember who it was. But at the time I said, what's a Facebook group? Because I didn't even know what it was. I mean, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
How many years ago was it?
So it was 5 years ago. I told my business partner, I said, if we don't mess this up, because I'm in Dallas, I said, if we don't mess this up, we can maybe get 100 people that are members of the North Texas Roofing Contractors Association to join, and we just topped 17,000.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? It's just nuts. And it's all organic. I mean, we don't promote it or anything like that. It's just like you tell people and they tell people and they join.
I invite a lot of people into it because I feel like it's such a big resource. Personally, when I was getting started in the industry a couple years ago, probably right when you started the group, 6 years ago is when I started. So that was one of the groups that I would look through the comments and learn a lot about the insurance side of the business because I worked with so many retail contractors in the beginning. So tell us a little bit about how you like to engage that community. What are some plans you have for that group? What are you looking to do next with the group?
It's kind of like John Sherwood's, what he calls Roofers Helping Roofers. That's kind of what we do. Is there 17,000 members. Most of them are roofers. There's a few PAs and there's some engineers, plaintiff attorneys. There's some claims adjusters that I invited that really care about consumers, and they give some insight into how adjusters think and what the insurance companies are doing and those sorts of things. If a roofer or a PA or whatever has a question, they can post the question, and with 17,000 members, let's say 1% are true experts.
Yeah.
Right?
Most of those people in the group, every time I see a post, there's at least 20 to 50 comments.
Yeah.
There's all of this stuff going on. There's so much engagement, so much communication. What do you see someone who's coming into the industry now, who's looking to get into insurance? What are some red flags that they should be cautious of and kind of prepare for themselves for in the next 2 years?
So what I'm teaching contractors to do is to make sure that you have a retail division so your guys actually learn how to sell. Most of the people that sell insurance roofs don't know how to sell.
Yeah.
They don't know how to sell.
Yeah.
If you're using the phrase free roof anywhere in your presentation, you don't know how to sell.
100%.
Could you imagine being in the retail business and using the phrase free roof?
Yeah.
No, those guys know how to sell.
Yeah.
And most of the
Shout
people
out to our retail roofers.
That's right. And so what I'm suggesting that you start a retail division, hire some really good guys that are already sales professionals and teach them the roofing business, right? And so by having a retail division, if there's no hail or wind in a given season, you still have the cash flow of the retail business. Also, I highly recommend that they start a repair and maintenance division.
Yeah.
Really good profits in that. So that's what I'm teaching right now, is don't just rely on storms.
Yeah, that's a big one because storms fluctuate so much. That's not something that's so predictable. And I've seen people go from doing millions in a year to going broke the next year.
Correct.
And completely shutting down the following because they did not have the infrastructure to support if a storm didn't happen. So it's always planning ahead and being prepared for the future. Do you see everyone's having a really hard time getting paid on insurance claims right now? Materials are held up. As someone who's been in our industry for so long, what do you see happening next with the material shortages, everything people are recovering now from COVID? Any projections on what's going to happen next?
They're going to stop making 3-tabs. And of course, they're saying that once the material shortage stops being an issue, they're going to start making 3-tabs again. I'll bet you they don't.
Wow.
I'll bet you they don't.
Wow.
They don't even want to make 3-tabs. They want you to buy the laminate shingles.
Yeah.
They don't want you to use 3-tabs for your starter and hip and ridge. They want you to use starter and hip and ridge shingles. And if 3-tabs don't exist,
eliminate the option.
That's exactly right. So you watch. Mark my word. Once the material shortage isn't happening anymore, they won't go back to making 3-tabs.
Well, I think it would be more beneficial because one of the things that I really talk to all of my customers about, everybody that I know, is raising the standard as an industry. And one of the best ways to raise the standard is the actual install side. To force everyone to raise their standards and do a better job and use the correct materials and processes for replacing these roofing systems. So that's really exciting to think about. So tell us, what is your favorite thing about being in this industry? What do you enjoy the most? And if someone is out there considering growing more in the industry, getting to your level, if you're one of their role models, what's something you'd like to say to them?
So the thing that I like the best is when I train someone, or we train someone, is to see them knock it out of the park. And then, like I was just telling you a minute ago, with the Commercial Roofing Academy, I had a client that came in, residential roofer, and after he went through the school, he just sold a $2.4 million commercial roof. That was life-changing for him.
That's a dream for most people, to be able to even do $2.4 million a year. So doing $2.4 million off of one job is a game changer for anyone. So that's really exciting to hear.
If you see one of your students come in and knock it out of the park, and he told me, he says, a few months before going to your school, I wouldn't have even, I would have walked away from the zeros would have intimidated me. But because I knew you guys would support me and have my back, plus what I learned in the school, guess what? Boom, he knocked it out of the park. $2.4 million roof. And he was doing residential roofs exclusively before that. So, needless to say, he is jacked out of his mind. That's how I gauge how well we're doing, is how well you guys are doing. Because if I'm doing well and you're not, then it's a scam.
Yeah, it's not, you're not doing well. Yeah, exactly. I definitely agree. And as far as for those of you who only know you like super professional Steve, like serious guy, what is something interesting about yourself that kind of makes you who you are?
Well, I've been so busy, I haven't really had a chance to go on vacations or anything lately because I'm just swamped. There's worse things than being very busy.
Yeah.
So I've got 4 sons.
Okay.
They're 41, 37, 36, and 21.
Wow.
And my 21-year-old just started a roofing business, which is kind of exciting.
Wow.
My 41-year-old Adam, he runs Estimates Made Easy.
Wow.
He has a daughter, my granddaughter. She just turned 15. That's exciting. Yeah. We just had her birthday party last weekend.
Wow.
You know, for me right now, it's just the family thing. When I'm not doing work, I'm spending time with the family. My folks live in Round Rock, which is near Austin. So I'm going up. It's only a 3-hour drive for me, so I visit them often.
I think it's really exciting to know so many people in the industry that have a very strong heart when it comes to their family, their beliefs, how they spend their personal time impacting others. So it's really, really nice that we get to be part of an industry this way. And the reason why we wanted to start OnlyRoofers is to bring a light to show that everyone here is also human, has a life, has a personality, and we wanted to make it not so boring, so strict. We wanted to be more playful and bring out that other side. So we appreciate you. I personally appreciate how much I've learned from you, from your speeches, from your groups, from everything. You're one of my role models, and that's what I tell pretty much everyone at the CRA, that all of them.
Well, you're very kind.
Big role models for me. So I thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Steve. Thank you guys for your time. We appreciate you watching another episode of OnlyRoofers, and we'll be back with more.